Hey, we're live. Alright, welcome everybody. Sorry about the late start. I woke up late and then didn't time my day properly. Like I had a build order for the day, but then I forgot my first pylon. So the rest of the build was late. So that's why we're starting the cast 20 minutes late right now. It's not that bad. It's not that. I mean, you know, missing a pylon, 20 minutes off. It's not that serious. So we're gonna start off with Air Force Ace versus Samsung Khan. The match after this will be STX versus SKT. And it looks like we're starting off with a player I have never heard of, or ITS. I don't know which one he wants me to say. But he's gonna be playing against Jangbi. I have heard of Jangbi. And I don't know. I feel like I've casted at least one game with it because I recall having difficulty figuring out what to say in that game as well. But I don't know. And unfortunately, as always, I was not looking at the stats in the beginning. Oh, apparently it's Chavi. Ah, that makes a lot more sense. Thank you. And I have to recenter this name thing because I'm OCD like that. Anyway, what's the first map? First map's gonna be Jade. It's gonna be a PVZ. And Chavi will be spawning as the orange Zerg at the top right. I will be calling him Chavi and not It's, because I think Chavi is more name-like. And that's probably what he's listed on TLPD as well. Anyway, Jangbi will be at the bottom left. He's a Till Protoss. And so this is an interesting match. I think of all the possible matchups in PL right now, this one is probably the least relevant, I suppose, because basically Ace has no chance of making the playoffs. I think even if they win all the rest of their matches, I think they probably still can't make the playoffs. I don't know that for sure, but it's they're not making the playoffs. All right, so they're just gonna play out the rest of their matches, but they don't have a chance anymore, and that's Is it just me, or did it seem like he? Okay, I hope that picture was fully clothed underneath all those star post-it notes. That's all I'm gonna say. Apparently it's his birthday. Alright, happy birthday, FBH. I hope he does a nice dance for us. Anyway, back to the rankings thing. So, Air Force Ace is dead last. They got no chance of making the playoffs. Khan, on the other hand, is first. Or actually, now I don't know because they were first, but then KT, spoiler alert, beat what's their face yesterday? Stars? KT beat Stars, yeah. So I think they're probably first again, just by the individual game score. So maybe this match actually does matter, because then Khan can go back into first place. But I mean, either way, they're comfortably in the playoffs, so... Well, they're not in the playoffs, but they're in a pretty nice spot, so they don't really have to worry too much about anything. Yeah, we are just going to Forge Fast Expand from Jangbi, who... Oh, no, never mind. I misread the minimap there for a second. Anyway, I should probably talk a little bit about the scouting of the Overlord. It is going a little bit centrally. If you look on the minimap, the first Overlord... Well, I guess you can't look now. Ah, go back to the minimap! All you smiling folks, I'm so jealous of them. Sitting there happily in the SPL crowd. If you look at the first Overlord of Chavi, it did kind of go... It's not going straight towards the main base at the bottom right. It actually went towards the natural there. And that will help spot any incoming scouting probes. As well as, obviously, you want to go towards your opponent's natural, because Protosses will be generally Forge Fast expanding every game. Unless you're Jangbi playing against Alone on Outlier, in which case you 2-gate, because you're clever. However, we do have a 2-hatch lair build from Chavi. Now this is completely scouted by Jangbi, which is... Well, it's good for Jangbi. Let's actually see how he reacts to this. Presumably this is going to be 2-hatch Muta. I mean, it could be some kind of 2-hatch Lurker bust, but that seems much less likely considering the probe will just see that and he'll just make, you know, 2 more cannons and stop it. There's also a lack of a Hydra Den, which I think should have been down by now if it was going to be Lurkers. Generally, if you're going for Lurkers, you make your Hydra Den when your lair is about halfway done, and then they will finish up together and you get Lurkers immediately. Anyway, probe guy going back out, not going to see anything. He didn't... Actually, Chavi is not yet taking his second gas. Does he not actually need that for 2-hatch Muta? Doing something quite strange. I'm looking around. I'm a little bit scared that I'm somehow missing an entire expansion or something. I mean, my obsing skills are generally subpar, at least my VOD obsing skills, but that'd be a little bit silly. Anyway, there's the Spire on the way. So this is going to be quite fast, these Muta. Jangbi definitely going to have to build a couple of cannons in his mineral lines. He is immediately getting +1 air weapons here. And the 3rd hatch placed at the natural. I don't really like that. I don't really see why that's necessary. If you're going to hatch Muta, I mean... Oh! What is this? We have a Hydra Den, actually. Wait, he did make a Spire just now, though, right? Did he cancel it? I'm a tiny bit confused. I'm a little bit confused here, because he did plant the Spire after the probe had left, so it wasn't like he made a Spire to fake out Jangbi and then cancel it and switch into Lurkers. He actually did just double tech here, even though he's just on the 2 bases. So, oh man, what is he doing? Is he just like gonna make 2 Scourge and then go for a Hydra Bust? Like what? This is a little bit silly. Anyway, Jangbi is gonna go out and scout around with this first Corsair. He actually hasn't made a cannon in his main yet. He's actually just making cannons at the front. Is he just not at all scared of Mutas? Did he like misread the build? I can't imagine. Like, he had the scouting probe in there for a while. He cannot have misread that build. Like, he must know it's a 2-hatch lair. Like, so I'm a little bit surprised that he's not made some cannons in his mineral lines yet. Maybe he's just that ballsy. I mean, he is getting the +1 Corsairs, obviously, so that will help. But as you can see, until they get up in sufficient numbers, it's very easy to just scourge them down, and you really need those cannons. So okay, he's getting 1 cannon now, but otherwise Jangbi's playing quite standardly. Okay, getting a few extra cannons at the front now. He seems to think that it's more likely going to be some kind of bust at the front rather than a Muta attack. I still don't know why he thinks that, but... Well, I mean, I guess we saw 2 sets of Scourge, no Mutas yet. So, I mean, at this point, it is kind of clear that it is actually going to be Hydras coming out, but... It's very interesting. I have to actually rewatch this and see what the tell was for this. Anyway, looks like it's going to be some kind of... I don't even know if this even warrants the name Hydra Bust, because, I mean, you know, the Zerg is on 2 base still, but he got every single tech building he could before actually committing to this bust, so it's like, this, like, I can't see this working at all. Unless Jangbi somehow messes up horribly, and even then, I mean, it's hard to mess up when all you have to do is make some cannons, and that's it. So I don't really see what Chavi's gonna do. And the thing that also confuses me is why he made his 3rd hatchery at his natural. Because we've seen a lot of 3-hatch Hydra busts where, oh, that is very interesting. He's actually gone for a drop here. And he actually did it in such a way that the courses were there, but they still didn't notice. He's just kind of like hiding them. Oh my god, this is... He actually just dropped them in, and he's making Lurkers in Jangbi's main. This actually now makes a lot more sense. Okay, now I understand why he's getting a lair and all of that. I was like, what is going on? So he got the Spire to get Scourge so he could snipe those Corsairs and free up and allow the Overlords to go in there freely. And then obviously he wants his actual attack force is the Hydra Lurker, and Jangbi might actually die here. Jangbi's going to be fighting Lurkers with probes. That is not a good matchup for the Protoss. Oh my god, this is actually a really cool build. I was confused for a long time, but now I'm quite impressed. Chavi, this is pretty sweet. Wow, man, I think Jangbi's completely dead. This is really cool. I'm still on the fence though about the third hatchery and the natural thing. I don't really see why you couldn't make it at a third base. I mean, like, you know, even when you go 3-hatch Hydro Bust, you make your third hatchery at another base just because if somehow, you know, the Protoss doesn't die, you can still transition. Um, so yeah, that's the only problem I have. But otherwise, I think this is a fantastic build for what it is, which is kind of cheesy all in, but but you know, given that, it's a pretty awesome build. And this Reaver, ooh, gonna do some nice damage, gonna take out that Lurker. Looks like Jangbi just gonna hold on a little bit longer with this Reaver, but that's not really gonna save his main base. He's just gonna lose all of his probes, or sorry, all of his tech buildings in his main base. He's already lost most of his probes, and yeah. Ooh, very nice targeting choice there, taking down the support bay. Obviously, obviously Chavi killed all the gateways already, so like the archives actually isn't a problem because Jangbi just can't make anything that requires an archives. So actually, rather take out that support bay and stop the Reaver production. Anyway, that's not gonna work, is it? Chavi. Chavi, that's not gonna work. Alright, he kills a Reaver and a couple of cannons, and oh man, he actually dropped some Hydras on top of the cannons. Did he? Is that what just happened? I think he just dropped some Hydras on top of the cannons. That's actually quite cool. Jangbi's gonna hold on though, but he has lost his forge, so he can't replace these cannons. And oh, the DT counterattack gets stopped right here. I suppose not taking the third base and instead just making the macro hatch of the natural helps to defend against this kind of sneaky DT counterattack. We have seen those be quite effective against this kind of thing. And I guess if you just look at the drone count, it's not like he actually has a drone count that warrants a third base, so it wouldn't really do that much. He wouldn't be mining from it anyway. Maybe better to just make it safer. One thing to note, by the way, about this build, it seems to be quite map dependent. Whoa! Is my VOD lagging? Okay, looks like we have a glitch in the VOD. I apologize for that. I saw the same thing as you guys. Don't worry, your stream is working. Anyway, I feel like this is very map dependent because if you look at just the architecture around the main base, you do have that high ground ring around the main, so it's very easy to just drop in there. And yeah, I mean, like for example, I don't think this would work quite as well on, say, I don't know, Sniper Ridge, where there's like a much bigger gap between the edge of your base. Like there's there's a big water patch or something. I actually can't remember what exactly it is, but there's like a lot of impassable ground around your main. So I'm not sure if that would be quite as effective. Maybe, because he did get Overlord speed anyway. Interesting. This actually reminds me of Yellow versus Bisu on Heartbreak Ridge. I'm sure anybody who's followed the scene for some time will know that game. That amazing play from Yellow where he took out Bisu. I would actually, now that I think about it, this is like almost the same build, in fact, as what Yellow did. If not the build that he did. Probably some slight variation, but yeah. Either way, Jangbi's gonna hold on here. January, doing her customary silly faces. I wonder if January's like in case you know, Brood War doesn't work out and she has to get another job, is she like planning to become a clown or something and make funny faces like as a secondary career choice? Not really sure. Either way, oh man, that is obnoxious. And GG, the mute has come out, taking out the Reaver there. Chavi taking set 1, taking down Jangbi, and giving Air Force Ace the quick lead here in this series. Oh man, please don't let this be a repeat of Con versus CJ. Come on. Come on, turn. Turn, Shine, you guys can do it. Roro, you guys can do it. Alright, let's go on to set number 2. Oh. Gotta wait for this ad to go away. Hey! Welcome back, everybody. We are in set number 2 of Air Force Ace versus Samsung Con, and this match is going to be Organ, aka Piano, versus Roro, who recently became one of my favorite players of all